This is CBS 6 This Morning Weekend.
Oh, what a way to celebrate our independence with a fantastic flurry of fireworks to cap off Dogwood Dell's annual celebration. And if that wasn't fancy enough for you, the fireworks were synced with Tchaikovsky's 1812 Overture at the Bird Park's Amphitheater. What a way. And if you're waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning after July 4th to watch us on the 5th, God bless you.
The overture, right? Da-da-da-da-da-da. Is that it?
Yeah, maybe the theme to Benny Hill, too.
Yeah, that's the one for here. Well, hey, you know what? We had a pretty nice 4th yesterday.
Gorgeous.
You notice the humidity has dropped a little bit?
Yes. Don't tell anybody.
Yeah,
oh, wait, that's your job.
Yeah, well, don't get used to it because it's going to come back tomorrow. You didn't see his face. He was just like, yeah.
It's coming back.
Yeah, tomorrow.
I thought it was over with for the summer.
No, Sally comes back tomorrow. But hey, I want to show you this gorgeous sunrise. It's been up about 7 minutes. And you might notice yesterday and even today, there's a little haze along the horizon. And the sunrise has kind of like this reddish color to it. There's a little bit of haze in the air from some wildfire smoke. So that'll kind of decorate the sky today. And there's a little bit of fog in some locations like Louisa and Ashland, about 1 to 2 miles of visibility. And temperatures are currently in the low and mid 60s. That's not bad considering we've been in the 70s for a lot of the past few weeks during the morning. For today, good deal sunshine, a few passing clouds, comfortable levels of humidity. You know, it's not going to feel like fall by any means, but it won't feel muggy outside. And we'll have highs, say mid to upper 80s to around 90 degrees. And again, not too humid today, but that gets worse tomorrow. And look at this. We have a tropical depression here off the southeastern coast. This is expected to become a tropical storm. And some of this moisture will bring us at least the chance of rain for tomorrow. So we'll talk about how that rain will impact our Sunday, and we'll take a look at the week ahead coming up. Greg.
Michael, thanks so much. 6:02. We begin with breaking news out of the city of Richmond, where a man is in the hospital with life-threatening injuries after being shot early this morning at Sidewalk K along Main Street in Richmond. That's according to Crime Insider sources, who also tell us the victim was shot in the chest. We have reached out to Richmond PD for more information, and we'll update you on air and online when we get it. 6:02 right now. It has been a week and a half since a massive fire in Shockoe Bottom destroyed businesses, livelihoods, and homes. And now we're learning about what sparked it. Maggie Marshall shares the latest along with the voices of those who have felt the impact firsthand.
The fire marshal says discarded cigarette butts in an apartment here above the Daily Menu caused the fire that destroyed multiple businesses and apartments here in the Shockoe Bottom area. And with the fire deemed accidental, no one will face charges.
In the heart of Richmond's Shockoe Bottom, shards of glass line the sidewalks, and the scent of smoke still lingers in the air. Two quiet reminders of the moment that changed this area 1 week ago.
All the work I put in here, gone in one day.
At this point, we've lost everything.
The fire started with something small. Investigators say a smoldering cigarette tossed into a flower pot already full of butts on the back porch of an apartment created the 3-alarm blaze. Within minutes, it caused flames to race through the building and thick smoke to billow so high it could be seen for miles. The fire destroyed 3 apartment units.
There's nothing that's salvageable, really.
And caused damage so significant, it's forced businesses like OMG Oatmeal Cream Pies and the Daily Menu to close indefinitely. The owner of the Daily Menu watched his surveillance cameras in real time last week as smoke filled the building and his ceiling collapsed from water damage. He's left in limbo, waiting to hear if the building can be saved.
Waiting for some type of answers so I can move forward to make some type of living. Like, this is how I made my living, this is how I fed my family, this is how I paid my workers.
The owner of the East Main Street building wants to restore what was lost. Not just because insurance might fall short, but because rebuilding from ashes feels even harder than rebuilding from nothing. But that vision remains on pause as structural engineers continue to determine if the building can be salvaged. The owners believe now isn't the time for blame, even though smoking was never allowed inside the building. Not when there's so much to rebuild, physically and emotionally.
And if you want to help the businesses and tenants impacted, you can head to our website at WTVR.com. In Shockoe Bottom, I'm Maggie Marshall, CBS 6 News.
5 minutes after 6 a.m., people living in one Petersburg neighborhood, they're just tired of speeders and crashes on their street. They've spent the last 5 years trying to find a solution. Senior reporter Wayne Koval shows us how the city believes it has finally solved the issue.
On this 4th of July holiday, Petersburg Public Works employees adding the finishing touches to Thursday's blockade, which essentially cuts off Varina Avenue where it intersects with Johnson Road.
It's going to be a lifesaver.
And most residents living on this end of Varina Avenue elated about the change simply because of how some people drive.
It becomes a quarter-mile drag strip. So this was like a quarter-mile drag strip.
And those living on Varina Avenue say a stoplight is to blame.
People continually use Varina Avenue as a quick thoroughfare in order to avoid one light, but they choose to blow through several stop signs.
And those living here like Don Reinhold say they have long had the proof there was a problem.
That truck's been hit twice. The other dump truck's been hit twice. I have a gooseneck trailer that's been hit 3 times.
And just last month,
person was drunk, came down, hit that power pole, snapped it into 3 places.
The end result of that accident
Took the power out in our neighborhood for a day and a half.
Neighbors say for years they've tried to find solutions. The city added this sign and a stop sign to no avail. Then a few years ago, the homeowners took matters into their own hands.
So we actually, as a neighborhood, got together and bought engineered speed bumps, laid them down, and it slowed traffic.
But the city had the speed bump removed, and now the city has decided to try something unique, blocking off the street. And less than a day later, residents say
it is working. The traffic has dropped tremendously. The speeders, none. No speeders.
But this solution may only be temporary.
We'll see if everybody's on one accord with this, and we'll come back and reevaluate it in 6 months. If everybody's happy, we'll permanently close the road there.
The mayor tells me drivers are also going to see another change in that area, a heavier police presence as they look for speeders who no longer have Varina Avenue to drive through. Wayne Koval, CBS 6 News.
He may be stepping down as president of the university, but Jim Ryan will remain on the staff at UVA. According to a news release, Ryan's last day as president will be next Friday. He'll then take a sabbatical before returning to grounds as professor in the School of Law, in addition to the School of Education and Human Development. Ryan announced his resignation last week. He had been pressured by the Department of Justice to step down to resolve an investigation into the school's diversity, equity, and inclusion policies. The UVA board had previously voted to close down the school's DEI office. Virginia senators and other Democrats have accused the Trump administration of unacceptable federal overreach in forcing Ryan to quit. Last week, the Justice Department accused Ryan of failing to comply with federal orders to dismantle DEI programs. According to a 2024 report from the U.S. Census Bureau, only 0.02%, I should say, of the population will make it to 100 years old. So making it a century mark is a major milestone worth celebrating. And Chesterfield County wants to honor its oldest residents with a special recognition. If you or someone you know is hitting the big 100 or older in 2025, listen up. The county is inviting all centenarians to be recognized at the September 17th Board of Supervisors meeting. The special seniors don't even need to attend in person to receive the honor. Applications are due by 5 p.m. August 15th. Interested families can find a link to apply at WTVR.com. From punk rock to power bombs, a group of wrestlers changing lives in Richmond. Ahead in our next half hour, how they're combining entertainment with some charity work for children going through some challenges. Michael?
Hello there, Greg. Well, let's go down to Petersburg where the sun is up. It's going to be another fantastic looking day. Not too humid today, but that changes tomorrow. And today is probably going to be our last completely dry day for at least a little while. We'll talk about that coming up next.
Yo, Adrian, you check these out? Look at these fireworks over the city of brotherly love. That is Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Quite a show right there. Come on back. Mike's forecast after this.
There's no tornado sirens. Like, should someone call?
I would call if I saw that. These video and images taken in the Atlanta area show a large, low-hanging cloud that caused concern among drivers and neighbors who thought a tornado was heading their way. Turned out to be a harmless formation called a scud cloud.
Yeah, scud clouds form below the main cloud base, which often occur with a thunderstorm and a cold front. Though they do extend toward the ground like a tornado, there's no potentially dangerous rotation there. But yeah, that looks kind of freaky. Well, do you know, even some trained storm chasers, at times you get some specific scud clouds. They form just in a way that you have to do like a triple take, but it's all about the rotation and the parent storm cloud and blah, blah, blah. But, you know, that looked threatening, but it wasn't.
I'm going the other way if I see a scud cloud or anything like that. Hey, man, no scud clouds here, buddy.
No, you know, I have a little haze in the air thanks to just a little bit of remnant wildfire smoke coming down from Canada. It was a little bit more prevalent yesterday, but it makes for good sunrises and good sunsets, and we have a little haze along the horizon, but that is about it. Right now at the airport, it's 66 degrees, which is not too bad for this time of year because our normal low is around 70. Wind currently is calm, so we have a little bit of fog in some locations, and the dew point's in the mid-60s. So it's not fall-like outside, but we had some really muggy conditions the past couple days. Dew points in the 70s. Dew points have dropped down in the 60s, but they're going to shoot back up into the 70s beginning tomorrow, and they'll stay that way for the entire week. For the day today, though, 84 by noontime today. We'll see a high of around 89 degrees. And if you have any evening plans, maybe your community's doing some fireworks, 9 o'clock temperature tonight will be around 77 degrees. Right now, once you get away from about Virginia Beach and Norfolk, we're in the low and mid 60s, and we continue to have this cooler, less humid air building into the area. So most spots will stay below 90 degrees today, and that really muggy air continues to be pressed a little bit farther towards the south and west, but it's going to come back later tonight into tomorrow. We have mainly clear skies now, but we have this tropical depression off the southeastern coast. This is Tropical Depression 3. Winds are at 35 miles an hour. This formed yesterday around 5 p.m. This will likely become Tropical Storm Chantal later this morning or this afternoon and make a landfall east of Charleston, South Carolina tonight. The rest of the storm will come onshore overnight and then start to move up through North Carolina later tomorrow into Monday. This will either be a tropical depression or just an area low pressure that gets into southeastern Virginia on Monday. The majority of the big impacts are going to happen well to our south, but what's going to happen for us is it's going to bring us a chance of some rain. For today, we'll stay dry, highs in most locations at or below 90 degrees today, a little bit cooler near the coast. This evening will be in the 70s. Tomorrow morning, muggy, more clouds, and we'll have the chance for some scattered showers and thunderstorms during the day. Higher chances the farther south you are. It's not going to be a washout of a day tomorrow, but at least there's going to be a threat of some showers and thunderstorms around. And same kind of deal on Monday. Then after that, the rain will turn more widely scattered for Tuesday and Wednesday as highs go back into the low 90s. Better chance for some storms on Thursday, and later this week will be in the upper 80s to around 90 degrees. Greg.
Okay, Mike, thanks so much. It's a one-of-a-kind program that's helping people fight their biggest demons. After the break, a look at the addiction treatment in one state that's helping in the battle against opioid epidemic. 6:18, welcome back. A unique program in some California emergency rooms being credited with helping people who are struggling with opioid addiction take their first steps toward recovery. CBS's Danya Backus reports.
Andy is a success story for doctors at Olive View UCLA Medical Center in Los Angeles.
Yeah, my life's just changed completely.
He came to this emergency department at the beginning of his sobriety when he felt the urge to use again.
I just wanted help because I knew that if I didn't get help, I was going to go back to the one drug that would make me feel comfortable and normal.
While in the ER, he was prescribed buprenorphine, which diminishes the effects of withdrawal symptoms and cravings. Despite its effectiveness, an estimated 87% of people with opioid use disorder are never prescribed any medication to help them fight their addiction.
Sometimes they just don't know where else to get help, and we're open 24/7.
Dr. Annette Decker authored a study looking at the success rate of emergency room clinicians prescribing buprenorphine in California. Findings show at least 1 in 3 patients fill a second prescription within 40 days. 1 in 9 end up on continuous treatment.
It's huge because this medication can save lives.
For addiction medicine in the past, patients would come into the ER and we'd pat them on the back and give them a list of detox centers and say, good luck.
Doctors Maureen McCullough and Kenneth Pedersen see the results firsthand. They helped start a statewide initiative for prescribing the medication in the ER.
And they can go from a cycle of being addicted to opioids and having their life be full of chaos to, within a matter of days, getting their life back together.
Which is what happened with Andy.
I could have gone back that night and just done fentanyl one more time. I could have possibly died.
He's now nearly 5 years sober and says a trip to this emergency department was a critical step in his recovery. Danya Backus, CBS News, Los Angeles.
It's 6:20. Good Saturday morning. Sun is up. There's a little bit of haze in the sky right now, and it's not too terribly humid. In fact, we have some temperatures in the low and mid 60s currently. In fact, Wakefield's down to right around 60. So we may have a spot or two that dips down to 59 over about the next 30 minutes or so. Heading down the river today, the water level is going back up a little bit, about 6.5 feet today. The water temperature is at or above 80, and the high temperature today in most locations will stay just shy of 90. So for this time of year, not a bad day comfort-wise, but then turns muggy again tomorrow. We're tracking a tropical system to the south. We mentioned this yesterday. Some of that moisture is coming up. We've had up the chance rain for tomorrow. Just scattered showers and thunderstorms, but unfortunately not a completely dry day. And we'll have a chance of scattered storms each day for the 7-day forecast. It's going to be muggy from tomorrow through the end of the week. Highs will be in the upper 80s and low 90s. Looks like the hottest day will be on Tuesday, where the heat index could get up to around 100 degrees. Greg.
I mean, Mike, upper 80s, low 90s, we'll take it for July.
Yeah, a normal high for today is 90 degrees, so that's actually just a little bit below normal.
We'll take it. Come on back.
CBS 6 Sports, sponsored by Toyota.
We begin with NASCAR. The amount of free time a driver has during the season is few and far between, but when a special event for a great cause takes place, several made a detour to the River City before Sunday's race in Chicago. Austin Cindric, Ross Chastain, Zane Smith, and Noah Gragson made an appearance at the Henrico Sports and Events Center Friday night to pair with several pros of the American Cornhole League for the Cornhole for a Cause event, benefiting their favorite charities. Now, this was the final match of the season before the World Championships later this month. The 4 drivers will return to Richmond next month for the Cookout 400, the only Cup race this season at Richmond Raceway. They still find it hard to believe the action track is not on the schedule twice this year or in the foreseeable future.
It's definitely a noticeable change, from someone that's been used to going, twice a year. Probably fans have noticed it well. But I think of a place like Pocono that we used to go to twice a year, and now it's huge, sold out every time. Campgrounds are super packed, and I think, I expect some of the same out of Richmond.
It felt odd. It felt odd to not be there earlier in the year. So the schedule's always evolving, and this was part of its current evolution to only go to one race at Richmond. And look, they go by how many people come to the races.
Turning now to baseball, Norfolk State officially introduced former VCU standout M.L. Morgan as their new head coach this week. He spent 6 years as an assistant at his alma mater and at Randolph-Macon, 2 programs that gained historical success with his help. Morgan was most recently the Mid-Atlantic scout supervisor for the Tampa Bay Rays, who in recent years have built young competitive teams with a small payroll. He had a great job at the major league level, but the opportunity to coach again was something that he could not pass up. That is the latest.
Coaching is in my blood. My dad's a coach, so just growing up, following him, and then, just this opportunity itself is one, like I said, that is really important to me, being able to come to HBCU with the momentum that's going in the athletic department and just being able to build a baseball program to one that can compete, annually for NEC championships.
Squirrels picked up a win on the road at Bowie, 6-1, the final. That is the latest from the Toyota Sports Desk.
Hi. This is CBS 6 This Morning Weekend.
Well, if you woke up early to tune in and be with us the morning after a holiday, we thank you so much. And if you fell asleep with the TV on while watching an Inside Edition rerun from 2018, that still counts, and we thank you too. It's just a few ticks before 6:30. I'll tell you, Michael, who one person that we know is watching right now?
Who's that?
Andy Annie McQuaid.
Oh,
Annie McQuaid
Mama
from
McQuaid.
Boston. She just texted. She's watching. She's up early. Yes.
Good morning.
Sending our love.
You know, you're saying up way too early. Sorry.
Don't wrinkle.
Sorry, that's genuine pleather. So I filled in for Tom yesterday morning.
Yeah.
4:30 a.m. on a holiday morning. That's early.
It's real early. You've done that the last 3 days,
Well,
right?
yeah, but like at 4, it's the same thing like New Year's morning, Christmas morning, 4:30. You're just like listening, and it's just like, hey, is anyone out there?
I was up watching you.
Yes, sure you were. Hey, let's take a look outside right now, and I'll show you that we have some hazy sunshine across the area. The sun's been up since about 5:54. It's been a nice looking day. It is fairly comfortable humidity-wise. It's still a little humid outside, but not as muggy as it's been for the past couple of days. Temperatures are actually pretty nice in the low and mid 60s in most locations. These are actually a few degrees below normal for this time of year. And there is a little bit of fog outside. Visibility in most locations at least a mile or two, but you may run into just a little bit of fog over about the next hour or so. Let's take a look at the satellite. Nothing going on here, but look off the southeastern coast, off the South Carolina coast and Georgia coast. There is a tropical depression that may become a tropical storm by later today, and that may bring us a little bit of rain tomorrow. But for today, we'll see a good deal of sunshine, and high temperatures in most locations will stay a little bit below 90 degrees. We'll be in the mid to upper 80s, but that storm to the south, which will become Tropical Storm Chantal, will bring us at least the chance for a couple of showers tomorrow. So I'll tell you how that's going to impact the rest of your holiday weekend coming up in just a little bit. Greg.
Michael, thanks so much. Just at 6:31 right now, with thousands of drivers on the road this holiday weekend, VSP is sending out a clear but strict message to make sure everyone is staying safe on the roadways. Crime Insider John Burkett rode alongside a state trooper and experienced firsthand what Operation Care is all about.
Hey, I'm Trooper Show, Virginia State Police. Everything is being recorded audibly and visually, okay? Do you have your license and registration with you today, ma'am?
No, I don't.
You don't have anything? Do you have an ID card or anything with you today?
No, I left it at the mall.
Pulled over on Crater Road in Petersburg for distracted driving.
So the reason I'm stopping you today is when we left that light, you were playing on your phone the whole time.
No, I was using my GPS.
One of many driving infractions that'll earn you a printed out summons this holiday weekend.
Typically a busier holiday, so just promoting highway safety, being visible, being seen by the general public, hopefully slowing them down enough that way everybody has safe travels.
Last year on 4th of July weekend, more than 4,000 were ticketed, 1,800 for reckless driving. Trooper Jimmy Shutt,
she is not licensed,
says Operation Care and its mission are pretty simple. Slow down, have your car road ready. Shutt says this woman he pulled over at Fort Lee hasn't had insurance in 3 years.
Driving around on one of the holidays, one of the busiest holidays that we have, with no insurance on her car.
And all it takes is a fender bender, and
yeah, it causes a world of hurt for anybody she's involved in the crash with, or even herself if she's trying to get her car fixed.
And a final and perhaps Trooper Shutt's most important reminder to drivers this holiday weekend and beyond. If you see emergency lights, move over and give first responders and tow truck drivers room to work.
People who do fail to move over and or slow down if they don't have the opportunity to move over, is one of my pet peeves, to include people that are using their cell phones.
That was John Burkett reporting. Sunday is a big return travel day, and troopers will saturate the highways throughout the weekend, trying to keep crash and injury stats as low as possible. Meanwhile, state and police are warning about a trend involving your car when it's not moving. Officials say car thefts spike dramatically during the summer months, and that the July 4th holiday is prime time for thieves. Brendan King breaks down the numbers and what you can do to try to protect your ride.
I talked to First Sergeant Peter Lazier with Virginia State Police. He tells me last year across Virginia there were more than 12,000 cars stolen, and sometimes those cars are then used to commit other crimes like robbery, arson, even shootings.
There is a group of thieves that are often juveniles. That's why we sometimes see a spike in the summertime where kids are out of school and up to mischief, and oftentimes auto theft is a crime of opportunities.
First Sergeant Lazier leads VSP's HEAT program. It stands for Help Eliminate Auto Theft. He says last year Richmond police saw an 8% increase in stolen cars over the summer months. Chesterfield had a 31% increase, while Henrico reported an 18% rise in stolen cars. He offers tips to prevent yourself from becoming a statistic, and that includes what he calls common sense: parking in a well-lit area, do not leave valuables in plain sight or your car running unattended, having your vehicle VIN or VIN etched into the car, and installing an alarm system.
The criminals were there. They may have used illegal substances in the car. They may have damaged the car to get access to it. Or while they had it, they treated it like a stolen car. And we hear these anecdotal stories about people that just feel like their privacy has been violated. It's very similar to a home invasion.
Another component of the HEAT program is a big reward. Virginia State Police, VSP, will offer you up to $25,000 for information that leads to an arrest when it comes to these stolen cars. First Sergeant Lazier tells me it takes a village, all of us working together to keep us all safe. In Richmond, I'm Brendan King, CBS 6 News.
And yes, that is a horse that we have in the backyard weather center, right, Mike?
That's true.
It's no secret few forms of entertainment have the artistic credibility of professional wrestling. And a Richmond organization is bringing Central Virginians together with its unique events. Photojournalist Miles Black takes you inside the ring for a look at RVA Pro Wrestling.
It's like a drug. There's really nothing like it, in my opinion. I think it's the art of it I've always been drawn to, the art of the storytelling of the match. You know, you come out in the crowd, they're all chanting your name, they're all booing you. There's nothing like it. If you can put in a bottle and sell it, you'd be a millionaire. There's heroes, there's villains. There's characters you care about, there's characters you don't like. They call it a soap opera with physicality. RVA Pro Wrestling, we're an independent wrestling promotion that's been based out of Richmond, Virginia. Every show is action-packed. We have very loyal fans. Always a great time, great experience. Punks for Presidents has kind of got us started. Every show we give a portion of the profits.
If you don't know Punks for Presidents, what we do is we take a portion of the money here off the door. So for like all these events alone, we got about $10,000. Thank you all very much. So what we do with that money is we help out sick kids. You know, we've got toys to take to the hospital. They need stuff. We take your money, we buy it. That's it. So we do everything we say we're going to do with the money. So if you're looking for a charity to give your money to, something that's local, that keeps it local, that does it local, talk to me later about Punks for Presidents. I'll tell you what you can do with your money. This first match is scheduled for making his way to the ring at this time.
I always say pro wrestling is kind of a mix of art and sports. Wrestling meets it in between. I've been obsessed with pro wrestling since I could remember. I got involved in pro wrestling in 2005, so I'm 20 years in now. So this is what I know, this is what I do. Our audience is a part of the show. They're just as much part of the show as the wrestlers are. They're very vocal, they're very loud, and they affect how the matches go.
It's just something really fresh and cool, like for Richmond. It's something as a wrestling fan that I've been wanting because I can't afford to go to every like major event. And they've been doing this reoccurring enough, and the storylines are really great. And just, I don't know, just being a fan, they give us a lot. So it's been really good. The performances between, you know, the good guys and the bad guys in the ring is all really good. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I feel like there's nothing like it. We give people characters and gimmicks that they can relate to. Yeah, I'm doing a storyline tonight. The adrenaline rush from the crowd is like nothing else. I'm an old like punk rock kid, you know, and I was always going to punk rock shows in garages and someone's living room, and I've always been kind of drawn to that DIY thing. I've kind of learned in entertainment, you know, sometimes if people aren't giving you the spot you want or the thing you want, you got to just roll your sleeves up and do it yourself. Me knowing the city and growing up here, I knew how to touch that pulse. I knew what the town liked. I knew who lived here. So we always have a local musician play the show. We also have local artists design t-shirts for us as well. So it's very much ingrained in Richmond's culture.
RVA Pro specifically is very kind of like DIY. We created this from the ground up. I started training in 2015 after I graduated from VCU right here in Richmond. Being a female in professional wrestling can be hard a lot of the times because people sometimes don't take us seriously. Definitely credit WWE. the women's evolution that they had back in 2015 with that surgence of women's wrestling and people starting to take women's wrestling seriously. And I think that definitely helped. I'm a queer, black, masculine female wrestler. It's a little harder for me sometimes to try to get my foot in certain places. I love wrestling for the sake of wrestling, for the sport and the art of wrestling, and that's what I want to give off, and that's what I want to portray. And that's what it's all about, the next generation, and whether they want to be a wrestler or a dentist or a doctor, and they are inspired in some way to chase their dreams or, you know, just be themselves authentically. I think at the end of the day, we at least did our job in that regard. But being in the ring is just the best adrenaline rush that you could ever get. Like, we're literally, you know, hitting each other with the ground, essentially. But we just kind of do it for the love of the game. I think most people can relate to feeling sad or angry or a breakup or coveting something that someone else has or feeling jealous. With those emotions, we really want to try to tell those stories. If we can get our audience to feel something, I think that's the best win we could ask for.
RVA Wrestling. Mike, you were on the high school or college wrestling team?
Neither, and I know that look you're giving me. You just stay there. If you hit me a good clip, you're going to take out a hip.
I was going to jump from the top rope into the weather center.
Can we talk about how you wrestled under the name The Scrambler, or do you want to save that for another day?
We'll save that.
I'll save that for another day.
Next block, please.
A little bit of patchy fog outside this morning. It's not too bad humidity-wise, but the humidity is going to come back tomorrow, as will a chance of some rain. We'll have your complete 7-day forecast up next. Scrambler.
Well, thank you so much. We know gorilla monsoon in the forecast. Hey, look at this. We're going to New York City, where the city never sleeps. In fact, their fireworks show is still going on at 6:41. How about that, Michael?
It's 6:43. Happy Saturday morning. I hope you've had a nice holiday weekend thus far. Sun is up. It's been a little bit of haze in the sky thanks to a little bit of leftover wildfire smoke coming down from Canada, but other than just kind of changing a little bit of the haze along the horizon, that really doesn't do that much. It also gives us a little tinge to the sun and the moon when we have the sunrise and sunset. Normal high for today has jumped to 90 degrees, so statistically we're in the hottest part of the year, climatologically anyway, with our normal high right around 90 degrees. Some of them was up at 5:54. And we'll set tonight at 8:34. And not expecting any rain today, but that's going to change for tomorrow. Temperatures are fairly comfortable across the region. Currently have some low and mid 60s right now. There's a little bit of fog in some locations, but not reducing visibility too much. There are a few spots where about a mile or two. Humidity levels will continue to be comfortable today, even drop a little bit more from this morning, and then they shoot right back up for tomorrow, and it stays muggy for the entire week ahead. High temperatures for today will range from the mid 80s to around 90 degrees. A lot of us will stay, though, just within about the mid to upper 80s, though. And then overnight lows tonight, low to mid to upper 60s with some 70s near the coast. We're watching this tropical depression formed yesterday off the coast of Georgia and Florida. It's just drifting right now at about 2 miles an hour. It may strengthen into tropical storm Chantal by later this morning or this afternoon, and it's slated to make a landfall tonight east of Charleston, South Carolina. It'll come onshore, go through South Carolina, going into Sunday night and Monday and into North Carolina, and what's left of it, either tropical depression or an area low pressure, will go across southeastern Virginia Monday afternoon. It'll be pretty weak by the time it gets here. Main thing it's going to do for us is just bring us a chance of showers for tomorrow. But for today, not much going on, just a cloud or two. That is about it. And then for tomorrow, we'll see more clouds coming in during the morning. There'll be a chance for some scattered showers first part of the day, and then the afternoon and evening, at least there's the threat there for a few showers and storms from time to time. And as the leftover bits of that system track to the southeast on Monday, that at least keep the chance for a few showers around on Monday. But notice, looking at highs, upper 80s to around 90 the next few days, but then it gets a little bit hotter on Tuesday with a high of 93. There will be a chance of scattered storms each day for the week ahead, a slightly better chance on Thursday, and overnight lows will be primarily in the low 70s. Greg.
Okay, Michael, thank you so much. He was known as Richmond's Uncle Sam.
Oh, that means everything. That's America you're looking at right there.
For decades, Tommy Salmons was a fixture at local parades and memorials. In our next hour, I will revisit the legacy of the Chesterfield County man who showed his love of Old Glory every single day. Plus, President Trump officially signs his bill of spending cuts and tax breaks into law. A look at what the bill will include and what the Congressional Budget Office says could happen to the deficit and health coverage. All right, good morning. Welcome back. 6:48. Hamas announces Friday that it had, quote, submitted a positive response, end quote, to a proposal for a 60-day ceasefire with Israel and Gaza. It opens the path toward a deal to halt the conflict after months of failed efforts by Israel, Hamas, and the White House. Israel had previously accepted the U.S.-sponsored framework, which means the two sides are now expected to enter final detailed negotiations before a ceasefire agreement is officially reached. President Trump signs his package of tax breaks and spending cuts into law last night while he and the First Lady celebrate the 4th of July at the White House. CBS's Erica Brown looks at the parts of the bill Trump is championing and what a congressional group says it could do to health care coverage and the federal deficit.
What we've done is put everything into one bill.
During a 4th of July celebration at the White House, President Trump signed the One Big Beautiful Bill Act into law. With congressional Republicans and members of his cabinet at his side, the president used the same gavel from the bill's final passage in the House Thursday.
This is a triumph of democracy on the birthday of democracy, and I have to say that the people are happy.
The legislation increases spending for border security and defense and extends Trump's 2017 tax cuts.
So you have the biggest tax cut, the biggest spending cut, the largest border security investment.
The new law also makes steep cuts to safety net programs, including SNAP, the Food Assistance Program, and Medicaid. The nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office estimates the package will add more than $3 trillion to the deficit over the next decade, and close to 12 million people could lose their health coverage. During the Independence Day celebrations, U.S. military fighter jets roared over the White House, marking the nation's 249th birthday. The president also invited the B-2 pilots who flew the bombing mission on Iran's nuclear sites in June.
We owe you everything. Great job.
The celebrations wrapped Friday night with President Trump and his guests enjoying a fireworks display. Erica Brown, CBS News, Washington.
Now, that legislation includes tougher restrictions on Medicaid, which provides government-sponsored health care for low-income and disabled Americans. The bill imposes work requirements for some able-bodied adults who can work and more requirement in frequent eligibility checks. And a reminder that you can always stay up to date with your news nationally, locally, and everywhere in between by going to WTVR.com or downloading the CBS 6 app. Stand back Joey Chestnut, because Richmond has a new competitive eating champion. Meet the man who just ate his way to victory in Scott's Edition. It's a hot dog showdown just down the road from us, and find out what he wins. But first, for some equally aesthetically pleasing video, here's Pause for Pets.
Good morning. It's the new cutting-edge desk cat. Do you need a little motivation while working from home? Say hello to Shirley, who's adoptable from Goochland Community Cats. She's about 5 to 6 years old. Shirley is the kind of cat who will gently nudge your keyboard to remind you that it's time for her back-to-back catnip-fueled performance. Why sit at your desk working in a bleak solitude when you can adopt this fabulous desk cat who is designed to make any work-from-home experience infinitely more delightful? Adopt Shirley today and let the productivity begin with a healthy dose of kitty headbutts. If you're interested in meeting her, please send an email to gccatinfo@gmail.com. I'm Mike Goldberg with this morning's Pause for Pets.
Now from CBS 6, the Weather Authority, meteorologist Mike Stone.
And welcome back. It is 6:55. And notice there on our Pierceburg camera, if you look along the horizon there, it's a little fuzzy. We've got a little bit of haze and a little bit of fog outside this morning. In most locations, it's not too bad, but we have a few spots like Ashland where the visibility is down to about 1.5 miles. Temperatures are fairly comfortable for this time of year. We have some low and mid 60s, and humidity levels will still be pretty comfortable today. Some sunshine close to 90. A lot more muggy. It comes back very quickly tomorrow, and a high of 88. We'll have the chance for some scattered showers and thunderstorms. We're actually watching a tropical system off the southeastern United States coastline, and that'll bring us the chance for at least a few showers and storms tomorrow and Monday. And we'll keep a chance of at least a few scattered storms in the forecast through the 7-day forecast, and it'll be muggy and some 90s on Tuesday and Wednesday especially.
Not too bad, Mike.
Not too bad. Now, in the interest of full disclosure, Greg is a vegetarian, and I don't eat like a ton of meat myself, so you might think neither of us would be really thrilled to do a story about a hot dog eating contest. But you're wrong. If there's one thing we love more than anything else, it's a fighting competitive spirit.
And that's why it's so great to see Joey Chestnut go back on his Coney Island throne. The Babe Ruth of competitive eating reclaims his title Friday at the Nathan's famous hot dog eating contest at Coney Island. After being banned last year due to a rival sponsorship deal, Chestnut returned with a vengeance, downing an impressive 70.5 hot dogs. Couldn't do 71? Come on. And get this, in buns in a 10-minute time limit. Who could forget about that?
It's just freaky. Now I know what you're saying.
They dip it in the water to make it go down easier. Unbelievable. Well, get this. I know you're saying, wow, I'm so sad that that story is over because I wish I could see more videos of people gorging themselves on hot dogs on July 4th.
Well, you're in luck because Richmond has its own Joey Chestnut. He was crowned Friday at Parlay, rhymes with Goulet, Bar and Lounge in Scott's Addition. Parlays held their second annual hot dog eating competition. The event welcomed both experienced eaters and newcomers to test their stomach capacity in a 10-minute challenge. The rules were simple. Much like Nathan's, eat as many hot dogs and buns as possible in 10 minutes using your own hands. There were 13 contestants, and this year's winner was Paul McNasty Tran, who describes his eating style as, quote, "I'm just here for a good time." I love
That's like you, Mike.
I'm just here for a good time. He won by eating 9 quarter-pound hot dogs. His prize, $500 in cash and the Golden Glizzy.
You know, I think for next year, Scott's Addition is known for its breweries. See how many hot dogs and beers you could down.
I thought you were going to say we should do that contest. No.
Let's sign up. Hey, we still have another hour to go, unfortunately, here at CBS 6 Saturday morning on this 5th. And thanks for staying with us, including tips for a full travel of 4th of July naturalization ceremony, which is pretty important. And in just a few minutes, Antoinette S. will be joining us live from the Hill of Heroes. It is a sight to behold. These are live pictures right now. All that plus Mike is looking ahead to the weekend forecast. Do not go anywhere. 6:58, we'll be right back.